Hello, this is my presentation on Anthony Panizzi. So, who is Anthony Panizzi? Well, he had a very complicated life. He was originally born in Italy and lived from 1797 to 1879. He was an Italian revolutionary, and eventually, when a warrant for his arrest was created, he fled to England to escape capture. He's a very important figure in cataloging and created the 91 rules for cataloging, as well as helping come up with the initial idea for and supervising the construction of the reading room of the British Museum. After he fled Italy, he came to England and began teaching Italian. Eventually, he became a professor, and from there, eventually was hired as an assistant librarian to the British Museum. Eventually, he worked his way up all the way to becoming the principal librarian in 1856. So one of the bigger accomplishments of Sir Anthony Panizzi was the 91 rules for cataloging. Prior to these rules, there was not a standardized cataloging system for the British Museum, and in fact, cataloging rules as a whole were still in their infancy in terms of being standardized. So this was very inefficient and confusing and created a lot more work for librarians to not have any sort of standard set of rules. Panizzi set about creating a standard set of rules for the British Museum specifically. And these 91 rules made things a lot easier. A lot of cataloging at the time was left up to each individual cataloger. And so this could create a very confusing mess of entries that was not very easy to discern. It's pretty strange to think about in this day and age. I mean, I, there was a time when I thought the Dewey Decimal System was confusing, but it's actually incredibly easy to understand compared to what librarians had to deal with before these rules. And this was really the groundwork for a lot of other cataloging systems, like the Anglo-American cataloging rules, the Dewey Decimal System, and the Library of Congress's cataloging system. As these rules became very widespread, and it was easy to base a new set of cataloging rules off of these. Another big accomplishment of Panizzi's was the reading room of the British Museum. He helped come up with the original idea and also helped supervise its construction. The reading room is a massive circular room at the center of the British Museum in what was once a courtyard. And this room houses a number of books and a very, very large number of tables to sit at and read or study. It provided a nice, quiet place as well as being extremely aesthetically pleasing. And this location really helped solidify the British Museum as culturally significant, as it brought a lot of tourism and is one of the architectural marvels of England. Of course, these days, his cataloging rules are not quite as useful compared to more modern solutions, and he was known to clash with colleagues at times. But even considering all that, he's still a very important figure. It's very easy to take for granted a lot of the improvements in cataloging since then that makes our jobs so much easier now and really make using the library easier for patrons in general. And additionally, he was largely behind the reading room of the British Museum, which is a really beautiful structure that has been a place for education and reading for a very long time now. And just as a capstone to end off that early bit about his participation in the Italian Revolution, after Italy was reunified, he was invited to come back, free of charge. They weren't going to arrest him or anything. But he did choose to stay in London, and I think that's really where he built his life after leaving Italy. These are my works cited, and I hope this presentation was entertaining and informative. Thank you very much.